Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. Today, we're going to be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 9. We start off with everybody kind of describing Gojo and essentially saying that he is the strongest. So, Gojo decides that he is going to kill Hanabi first. That is his plan, but then he ends up going after Jogo, ripping off his arm. And he was like, oh, and then Nabi's like, oh, that was just some sort of simple trick. He is just, going to go after him instead. He just said it to throw me off. Something along those lines. But he does actually end up going after Hanabi, which is pretty interesting. And he ends up ripping out Hanabi's, I guess, tree stump eyes type deal. And actually ends up killing Hanabi as well, which is kind of crazy because we saw how ridiculously powerful Hanabi was, and now Hanabi is done, dead, splattered all over the wall. I know there was like a technique here. Basically, he said there was only. Let's see if we can figure out the dialogue here. I'm trying to find the dialogue. Basically, they couldn't. Let's see. Use one. They could only use one technique at a time. So basically, that was ultimately the downfall. It was domain amplification. So they only have the ability, the cursed spirit only had the ability to use one technique at a time, and that's how Gojo ended up killing the cursed spirit. We also learn that it takes a while to set up the prison realm from Geto, and that Jogo wasn't happy because he was like, "You're just going to sacrifice all of us," things along those lines. But they just have to delay him, as the prison realm is getting set up, and then they just have to keep him in there for 1 minute, which is significantly longer than you think it is. And the reason it's significantly longer than you think it is because Mahito shows up with about 1,000, morphed humans, and they're going to kill a bunch of the regular humans. And Gojo is like, what do I do here? So he's thinking about what he can do. And they're thinking, oh, there's no way he's going to actually initiate his domain. But he does. He initiates his domain. And he realizes that as long as he can do it in 0.2 of a second, he's good to go. So he's not going after the main three spirits, which are going to be curses, which are going to be the painting, which I guess he's not technically a cursed spirit, but, cursed womb. Then you got Jogo is still alive somehow, and you got Mahito as well. So he's like, if I do it for 0.2 of a second, which is like faster than I think you blink your eye, or maybe it's the speed of which you blink your eye, you can't comprehend 0.2 of a second. And he uses his domain temporarily to kill every single one. And he's successful at it. He is successful at it. But then here comes Geto showing up, and he's very, very confused. He was like, how are you alive? Like, how are you alive? Like, we've seen Geto before, but we also saw Gojo essentially kill him in the past, and I guess I didn't realize that they haven't met up until this point. So he's like, "Hi, how's it going? What's going on?" He was like, "Who the heck are you?" Because basically he was like, "Oh, I know for a fact I killed you. Like you were dead. What the heck are you?" And we learn that this creepy curse has taken over Geto's body. And essentially, it replaces their brain. Apparently, it allows them to have full control over the body that they are in. So I'm assuming this is some sort of curse spirit too. But allows them to have full control over the person's body. And apparently other techniques, because this thing has definitely used Geto's techniques, as we have seen since he has been in this body, which I don't think we actually have a name for it yet. But basically, he's saying, I really wanted this man's curse manipulation in this situation, too. and that he is going to lock up Gojo in the prison realm. He's like, maybe 1,000 years. And then Gojo's like, you're forgetting about Yuta, how powerful Yuta is. And then he was like, well, that was because of a pact, and now that pact is over with, Yuta really isn't much of a threat anymore. He's kind of probably like you. We actually haven't seen him at all since the movie. I'm assuming we'll run into him at some point this season. But he's not as much of a threat as he was, being that he let her go. Basically, he let his childhood friend, childhood love go. So she is really no longer a threat to him anymore. There's nothing really that he can do to stop him. So at the end of this, Gojo is trapped. I guess Makinmaru, which I'm assuming that's not his real name, but it's the guy that controls the puppets. I'm assuming he's still alive because an earpiece was able to get to Yuji, unless it's pre-recorded. If it's pre-recorded, that could also make sense. But a message was able to get to Yuji, basically saying that they're going to trap him. So you need to get to Gojo so they don't trap him, because Gojo is really the only person strong enough to defeat these people. And that's kind of where we end the episode there, with Yuji, Mei, and her younger brother. And then we have, what do you think of skincare at the end? We're showing some fighting scenes here, which I'm hoping we get. I don't know. The three sorcerers that they have, Yuji, Mei, and her brother. I don't think they'd be able to defeat all of them. It's like at that point it's like 4 against 1, and I feel like one of them would cause enough of a struggle against any of them. So that's kind of very interesting to see how that would kind of pan out. But to my knowledge, Gojo is trapped. He has to stay there for exactly 1 minute, and Geto just talking to him threw him off. And I think that was Geto's plan. It was like, I'll show myself at the last possible minute. That way, it'll super surprise him, and that'll give us enough time to trap him there. And he's like, yep, we're going to trap you there for 1,000 years. But that's that creepy image right there. Just pops the old skull open, and there he is. So that, I guess that explains the stitches on the forehead now, which is kind of creepy. And I guess you only need them on the front, because I guess the hair would technically hide the back. This thing's creepy. I don't know what this is, but very interesting ability. Very, very creepy. Not a fan. But it was really cool seeing Gojo being all OP, but I guess his time has come to an end to a certain extent, because he may be out for the count, and that would make sense. It would make sense, here's a super powerful person. If we restrict him and put him in the prison realm, we can do an arc where they save him. But it's not like, oh, okay, Gojo is here, it's fine, it doesn't matter. He can kill everybody and everything that's in his way. Now it's more like, oh, we just lost our biggest asset. We need to go get our biggest asset back as soon as we can. At least I think that's where they're going with this. This episode, solid 8 out of 10. Definitely really liked it. Left a little bit more to be desired. I feel like there's a couple of things that maybe they could have done a little better. Like, would Gojo actually be that distracted? I mean, I guess he would be, because that's how they did it. But I feel like we'll see what happens if Gojo is OP enough to just break out the old prisoner realm. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see how that all works out. But other than that, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. And as always, have a good one.